Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me. As always, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and share my content. You can make a donation at paypal.me/morlogmorningdigest. A few updates about the coronavirus to start the video off. 14 of the people who we transported back to the United States have tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, these people were transported off of the cruise ship in Tokyo back to the United States, and in all honesty, I would rather them be in the medical care in the United States rather than be trapped on that cruise ship being used as an experiment for how this virus spreads. With all that being said, there's another cruise ship which was denied entry into 5 ports known as the Westerdam. And a lot of people said that these 5 countries that didn't let these people come in port were being discriminatory, that their actions were unfounded, and there was no reason not to let these people in. Well, it turns out that those 5 countries were absolutely correct in their assumption that there was somebody on that boat with the coronavirus. Cambodia just so happened to let this boat come in port. Now, they let everybody off of that ship, and over 1,000 people are now on their way back to their country of origin. Well, it turns out that those people all had contact with this virus while they were on this cruise ship, which means in the next 14 days, mark my words, we will see a new slew of cases popping up all over the world. Now, we're going to get into my theory as to what this virus actually entails. Now, I am of a firm belief that we are living through a biological war as we speak. And let me explain why I've come to this conclusion. I'm going to put myself in the shoes of the Communist Party of China for a moment. First, we need to realize the events that led up to the announcement of this coronavirus. You have the USMCA being signed, which means that if this virus wasn't taking place, currently we would be seeing a bunch of industry that is now being done inside of China moving back to the United States for tax relief. There's no way around that. That's the entire reason why we signed the USMCA. Now, what this means for the Chinese economy is they would lose a significant amount of their industry, of their higher technology industries, which is where they end up stealing most of the secrets from, intellectual property theft, etc., which is where the real hurt to their economy comes from. It doesn't come from the goods that would be lost in the trading process. It comes from the information that they would be losing access to. Now, you also have phase 1 of the U.S.-Chinese trade agreement taking place shortly before this virus was announced. Now again, that means that China can no longer steal the intellectual property that they were, and if they do, there's economic safeguards for the United States to use to hurt China economically. So, between these 2 agreements, China's economy would have ended up taking a hit that was unavoidable, and it would have been catastrophic to the Communist Party inside of China. Now, if I'm Xi Jinping and I'm in charge of this entire thing, how do I make the rest of the world pay the same price economically that I myself am going to have to pay? And let's be honest, if Xi doesn't manage to get this in check, his power is ultimately gone. Now, he's the dictator of that entire country, which means he is responsible for everything from economics to somebody farting at a council meeting. He looks bad for it. So, how do you avoid this? If you find a way to shut down your entire economy, right, i.e. nothing's being produced, there's no means of trade, there's no way for your economy to make any money or sustain the rest of the world's production, the rest of the world is going to have to take the same economic hit as you. You're going to have to devise a way of doing this where you don't have to take responsibility for these actions, otherwise your Communist Party is going to put your head on a pike. The only way to do this, in my opinion, is to have a contagion or an outbreak take place. Now, as I said before, there's absolutely no coincidence that this virus broke out 20 miles from the only lab in China that could possibly manufacture or hold such a virus. Now, let's take things one step further and look at the economics behind all of this. If you look at all the stock markets worldwide, they have been going through the roof since the announcement of this virus. However, that is in complete contradiction of what trade revenues between China and the United States, as well as the rest of the world, are telling us. Now, if you look at the trade revenue that's taken place between the announcement of this virus and today, we will see that in excess of $114 billion in trade revenue has been lost, that's what it looks like on the graph, right? What this means is we have lost more trade revenue with China worldwide than took place during the Great Recession in 2008 and 2009. But meanwhile, our stock markets are going through the roof. And the reason that this is taking place because not only are the governments injecting a bunch of money into their stock markets to send out a signal that everything's okay, you have people like Bezos and all of these guys buying back stock in their own company to inflate the value of their company so their stockholders aren't terrified of what's actually going to happen. What's going to happen is huge economic downturn all over the world, and this is exactly what China wants to happen. This is why we are witnessing this virus take place right now. This is economic and biological warfare 101. If you manage to shut down production in China, you destroy the economy for the entire world. You can't just go out and tell your people, don't go to work. You have to find a way to make this happen naturally. This is where the virus comes into play. Now, what does this mean for businesses all over the world? What this means is there is going to be no supply chain to bring their resources from China into their country. Now, anecdotally, there's a furniture company that depends on textiles from China. They weren't able to get a hold of their production until yesterday. And what the people in China said is, you're not going to be getting any textiles from us till mid-June at the earliest. And even then, it's going to be a small percentage of what you're used to getting. And on top of that, it's only going to be our most popular products because we don't have the means to do this. So this person's writing on Reddit, and he also states that the corporate office told him to have your resume ready. This company is going to tank. What happens when not only textiles companies start feeling the turn, right? Start feeling the heat from this economic war. What happens when Apple, all these technology companies can't facilitate any of their freaking production at all? This is exactly what China wanted to happen. No coincidence. No coincidence at all. This is economical warfare. There's no way around it. It's a biological war that we're living through. Mark my words, I don't know what else to tell you. You can say that I am a fearmonger. You can say that I'm sensationalizing this all you want. I know I'm right. The track record for myself is way too good. I want you to take care of yourselves. Have a great day. But I'm going to tell you the truth how I see it. And if you don't like it, so be it. Take care.